Hey everybody, Justin Maes is here and you're watching Esports Go. It was a big day in the Overwatch League that featured 3 out of the top 4 teams in the standings coming into the day. One of those teams was the undefeated Boston Uprising, who up until recently were in the headlines, but that's all behind them. And the only question now is if they're really legit. They defeated the Stage 2 champion New York Excel and people were starting to talk about them. And to start week 3, they faced the London Spitfire, who up until recently have been struggling. Still, London are a great team. Can Boston keep their momentum and take out the Stage 1 champions? It looks rough for the Uprising at first, but they come back, bringing the match to a map 5 tiebreaker on Oasis. In round 1, the Uprising are in control first. Mistakes try to clear the point as Genji, but a well-placed hack and Coalescence takes him out and clears out the point for the Spitfire. The Spitfire aggressively defend the objective, pushing towards the Uprising spawn and forcing them to fight off the point. The Uprising are on the point. Prophet tries to sneak behind the Uprising and gets a pick. However, the Uprising sniff it out and turn on him. He's deleted from the game and the Uprising have the point once again. It all comes down to the wire. Striker chases after Bedosin. If the Moira is out of the way, they will have a strong chance of keeping the point. He gets the kill, but in the meantime, the Spitfire have killed off the rest of the Uprising. Striker follows not long after, giving round 1 to the Spitfire. The Uprising gained the point first, thanks to a great stall from Striker and Gamzu for reinforcements. They will be able to hold it the entire round. It all comes down to a 2v2. Striker and No against Hureg and Gesture. Once Gesture falls, the Uprising are able to hold the point and take the round 2 win. The final round, Wuhal and the Spitfire gain the point first and once again aggressively defend and force the Uprising to fight off the point. It comes down to the very wire for the Uprising. Striker stalls out the point though, allowing reinforcements to arrive and take out the Spitfire. The Uprising are now in control. The Spitfire do get one good dive onto the point though, while the point is ticking up. The Uprising are able to hold it though thanks to the use of 2 support ults. Neko's Coalescence and Kelix's Sound Barrier keep the Spitfire at bay. Once again though, the Uprising are whipped out, but this time Mistake Sombra stalls out the point and keeps it in Uprising control. Boston comes back to fight it on the point. Mistakes uses an EMP blast in the middle of the Spitfire. This gives the Uprising the chance they need to win the round. They have done it. The Uprising beat the Spitfire in overtime. Final score for the night, Uprising 3, Spitfire 2. Wow, what an incredible match we had right there. Right when the London Spitfire looked to have their groove, Striker and the Uprising put them back down once again. It was a reverse sweep, and not only do they remain undefeated in Stage 3, they also move up to 3rd in the overall standings. Look, I'll be the first one to admit that I was completely wrong on the Uprising. I thought they were good enough to stay afloat with Striker and Gamzu, but I thought Mistakes would be their downfall. However, he's held his own against New York and London and have definitely swayed my opinion. This team's a contender in Stage 3. They're 2 games ahead of 4th place right now. We'll see them in the playoffs most likely. The team that's atop of the overall standings is the New York Excel. They're coming off 2 consecutive Map 5 matches. It doesn't get much easier as they face the Philadelphia Fusion. Both teams 3-1 coming into the game. The loser will probably be right there at the stage playoff line. A rematch of last year's finals. Let's see who came out on top. In an all too familiar narrative, the Fusion win the first 2 maps, but the XL respond by winning the next 2. It goes to a map 5 tiebreaker on Oasis. In round 1, Fraggy is able to be on his hero Reinhardt. The man is leading the charge into the XL and even secures a kill on the Tracer to push the XL off the point. In a last-ditch effort, Pine launches a Riptire into the Fusion. EQO backs with a Riptire of his own into the XL. Pine's tire did more damage though, giving the XL the point. The Fusion are back in control though, and the XL are trying to kick them off of the point. Carpe gets some key hooks as Rohog to stagger New York's respawn. They are able to clear the point and take round 1. In round 2, City Center, the XL run over the Fusion right off the bat. Jonak is flinging orms like a madman to weaken the Fusion and heal his team. Jonak is even able to seal the deal with some key picks on EQO and Neptuno. The XL take round 2. Next point wins on Garden. While Meko keeps the front line preoccupied, Pine circles around to take pot shots in the Fusion. Meko secures the point capture by tossing Fraggy off the map. Big Boss Pine is right on home with McCree. The Fusion dive onto him, but he manages to gain a kill on Carpe and survive the assault. EQO tries to get anything going for the Fusion with the Dragon Blade. Pine instantly stuns him though, and all his targets are able to run away. Last chance in overtime. The Fusion try to get it going, but the defense of the XL is too solid. Only a Tracer and Mercy remain. They are easily taken out and the XL win the map. They once again are able to reverse sweep the Fusion. Final score of the night, XL 3, Fusion 2. Well, that was a little bit of deja vu. Just like the finals, the Fusion were up 2-0 and the XL found a way to come back and win. Now they sink comfortably in third place with a game advantage over the LA Gladiators. Pending a collapse, we should see them make the playoffs. That means realistically, there's only one spot left in the playoff fight. The Fusion for now fall just out of that position due to map differential. They'll need to recover and get some wins. The final match of the night featured the Houston Outlaws and the Florida Mayhem. Both were hoping for a better Stage 3, but find themselves near the bottom of the standings. Florida, who were without a win in the stage, found a way to defeat Houston on Temple of Anubis after their first round. Could they finish the upset? Raucous kicks it up in Map 2 with a great pickoff on the unsuspecting Tracer. The Outlaws spring on the rest of the Mayhem and force them on for Point A. The Outlaws make Blizzard World look easy. Linkser stands unopposed on Widowmaker. He takes pot shots on the Mayhem members standing on the payload. The Outlaws easily make it through second point. Jake puts a nice bow on the final push. He stands directly behind the Mayhem, putting constant damage on the Floridian team. The Outlaws make great time and set the bar incredibly high for the Mayhem attack. They are held at the first point for a long while. The Outlaws are spreading out, and with their forces divided, the Mayhem are able to pick them off and take the point. However, not too much time remains on the clock for a push. Tavik sets up the Mayhem nicely at the next checkpoint with a Dragon Blade into the entire Outlaws team. He goes through one member, then another, and there's a clear path to the next leg of the payload's journey. Time's winding down. Tavik takes out a Dragon Blade once again, and the Mayhem clear out the Outlaws. It's looking like they might be able to finish the map. But they forget one thing: stay on the payload. The Outlaws catch a break and the Mayhem lose map 2. The Texan team will move on to win the next 2 maps for an overall victory. Final score for the night: Outlaws 3, Mayhem 1. After a hiccup, the Outlaws are back on track. 3 out of their last 4 games went to a map 5, so this one is really nice to get over quickly. They seem comfortable after round 1, but still concerns that they don't have a proper Tracer. Jake looked more comfortable than Linkser, so expect him to be primarily on that position. The tough part of their schedule is over, so expect them to start getting some wins. Now let's switch gears and bring it to everyone's favorite segment, the Heroes and Zeros. My hero for the night has to be Striker of the Boston Uprising. This man is hands down the best Tracer in the league right now. He was outstanding not only against the Spitfire's Tracer, but he was all over the entire team. He was an incredible asset in stalling objectives on a couple of those maps, and even including the tiebreaker. The loss of their other offensive member, who we won't name, last week made Striker step up even more. I'm proud of that guy. Now the Zero is another Tracer from the same exact game, the Uprising and the Spitfire match. In overtime, Prophet goes for a pulse bomb that gets stuck not on a person, but the wall. There's no telling if the pulse bomb would have made a difference in the outcome, but let's be honest, it definitely didn't help. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll preview tonight's games, including the Uprising Dynasty matchup. You're watching Esports Go. All right, guys, welcome back. Let's get right to it and look at today's Overwatch League matches. We'll preview the Fusion and the Shock first. The first matchup between a team that we just saw play. Immediately off their loss to the XL, Philadelphia looked to bounce back and get back in the playoff race. Their opponent has much to prove as well. They play the San Francisco Shock, who for the first time are also in the playoff race. They have the same record as the 4th place team, but just with a worse map differential. They'll need to win, and let's just say this one will be one of their biggest of the season. The next matchup is a match that a lot of people had circled coming into this week. It's not a secret that the Dragons are without a win. This is their best opportunity for their first win of the season. Adu, Dia, Genguri were able to take a map against the Seoul Dynasty in their last matchup. If they can be aggressive and jump on Zupe and Tavik, I think they can make it a real competitive match. We'll have to see. At the end of the night, we'll have a battle between 2 really good teams. Boston, of course, are coming off one of their biggest wins of the season and are playing their best Overwatch in franchise history. With a win, they'll become the first team to beat the New York Excel, London Spitfire, and Seoul Dynasty. The Dynasty, on the other hand, are trying to make that not happen. They're still in the playoff race, but still have to play Philly, New York, and London. This is practically a must-win for the Dynasty. All right, guys, enjoy those matchups tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow to discuss those matchups and preview the final day of Week 3. In the meantime, be sure to check out our website at challengemedia.tv for more gaming news. Also, check us out on Facebook and Twitter as well. Thank you for watching Esports Go, and I'll see you tomorrow.